Well, hello everyone. Welcome to COMP 9313 Big Data Management. I am your lecturer in charge, and this is the first lecture, so I will briefly introduce the information of this course and to help you make the decision whether you want to stay here for the rest of the trimester or you want to drop the course or you want to enroll it. I think you still have time. Okay. First of all, let's talk a little bit about myself. I'm Yifang Sun. I used to be working in K17 room 208, but currently I'm just like many other people. I'm working from home every day. Um, Here is my email address. If you want to send me an email regarding to this course, please remember to include COMP 9313 in the subject so I don't miss it. Okay, on the right is my photo. Since under this weird COVID-19 situation, I don't think we would have chance to meet each other in this trimester. So yeah, this is my photo. Yeah. My research interests including database, high-dimensional data, machine learning, which is mainly focusing on natural language processing, and the integration of database and AI. So for this course, the aims of this course is mainly from three different aspects. First of all, we want to introduce you with the concepts behind big data. For example, why big data is difficult, or what is the main challenge in big data. Secondly, we want to introduce the core techniques that is used in managing large-scale datasets. For example, Hadoop, MapReduce, Spark, so on and so forth. Okay. For the last aspects, we will introduce technologies for developing solutions to large-scale data analytics problems. For example, a nearest neighbor search in high dimensional with massive data sets, or machine learning with big data, or maybe recommendation systems or data streams. It depends on the process of this course. However, since this course only lasts for 9 to 10 weeks, it is impossible for us to cover every aspect of big data management. Instead, we will focus on those essential parts, for example, the concepts, the principles, and the algorithms. We will not focus on programming languages and their API. For example, we won't cover Scala, although it is the programming language for Spark. And we will not cover any specific big data platform, for example, AWS or GCP. This is because the programming languages, the APIs, and the platforms, they all evolving rapidly. But the essential parts of big data, the concepts and principles, they are also evolving, but it's like you build a building, you need to do it from bottom to top. And the bottom is these essential parts. Everything is built on top of it. They are the cornerstone of big data. So if I have limited time, I would rather spend them on these essential parts. Okay, so if you are really interested in big data, I think there is plenty of tutorials and documents on the internet, so you can make use of them to improve yourself. Now, for the lectures, as you have already seen, all the lectures will be pre-recorded, and the videos will be delivered through Google Drive. The links to the videos will be available on Peerza every Monday and Wednesday. So if you have no access to Peerza, please email me as soon as possible. Okay. So once you have these videos, it's up to you, like when to watch it or where to watch it. But I do hope you watch it regularly. Try not to do it by the end of the trimester. Okay. So the lecture slides would be on course website, and because the lectures are all pre-recorded, there will be no question answering sessions during the lectures. If you have any question, you need to ask it in Peerza, or you bring them to online consultations. All right. So I want to explain a little bit more here about our decision of using pre-recorded lecture videos. This is mainly because we are managing a large group of students here. So we have more than 300 students, and I think the limitation of Zoom is 300. The limitation of Microsoft Teams is 250. So basically, neither of them are a feasible choice. And also, our students, they live in different areas all around the world, means they are living in different time zones, and our course starts at 9 a.m. in Monday morning, which means in other parts of the world it might be 7 a.m. in the morning or even 3 a.m. in the morning. So I really don't want to wake you up so early. So that's why we use pre-recorded videos. All right. So the schedule and the length of lectures may vary based on the progress of the course. Note that watching every lecture is assumed. Means when we design the written assignment or the programming projects or the final exam, we assume you have watched all the lectures. Okay, so if you face any difficulty, you probably can find the answer in the lectures as well. All right, the resources of this course. There are books and online resources. For books, there's no prescribed textbook for this course, but I think the following books are relevant for the topics that we will cover in this course. I think the first book, they have an ebook in UNSW library, and for the last two books, I think they are free online, and the link is in the course outline in the course website, so you can access them freely. For the online resources, we recommend you to PySpark tutorial and Spark Python API documents. You probably would need them when you do the programming projects, which we will talk about them later. And yeah, there are plenty of online courses and tutorials in YouTube, in Coursera. If you are interested, you should have a look at those. So the prerequisite, the official prerequisite of this course is data structures and algorithms, which should be COMP 9024 for postgraduate students, and database systems, COMP 9311 for postgraduate students. And for undergraduate students, I believe you would have corresponding courses as well. So we set this prerequisite because we would expect you to have experiences and good knowledge of algorithm design, which we will use them in MapReduce and in the programming projects. Okay. You should have solid background in database systems so you can understand the challenges in big data and you can appreciate the solutions to these challenges. You should have solid programming skills in Python, and you are expected to be familiar with Linux operating systems. That's for the programming projects. Okay, so you should have basic knowledge of linear algebra, probability theory, and statistics. This is mainly for the machine learning part in this course, which we will give more detail later. You're not expecting to have experience in MapReduce, Spark, or parallel and distributed programming, because these are what we're going to cover in this course. Therefore, if you don't have relevant knowledge or you cannot produce correct Python program on your own, you should not enroll this course. Or if you have poor time management, or you are too busy to watch lecture videos or labs, or you don't have time to do the assignments or projects, you really should considering whether you should or not enroll this course, because you are likely to perform badly in this subject. All right, assessment. Everyone interested in. We will have one written assignment, 2 programming projects, and 1 final exam. The written assignment contributes 20% to your final mark. The final exam contributes 30%, and each programming project contributes 25%. There is no hurdle for any of the above components, means there is no double pass. Okay, so it is possible that before final exam you have already passed the course, but we do have grades for this trimester. So this trimester is not pass or fail trimester. All these assignment, projects, exams are all individual tasks. And you should use Give to submit your work to all these components. Written assignment. Okay, written assignment is mainly about exam style questions. Okay, you would have computational questions, maybe some proof, short answers, but you are not expected to write an essay, and there will be no multiple choices. Also, for the final exam, the question types are similar. Okay. The contents of the written assignments is regarding the lecture contents. Okay, so basically we will focus on algorithms, concepts, and principles. The purpose of assignment is to assess your understanding of these contents, not your memory. Okay. It's definitely an open book because we can't force you to not open the book. Therefore, memorize things is meaningless in this course. The deadline is a firm deadline. Okay, no late submission. If you submit late, you will get 0 mark. No excuses. Okay, so make sure you have done it before the deadline and submit it before the deadline. Programming projects. This counts for 50% of your final mark, so it is very important. The tentative topics of programming projects is, the first one is nearest neighbor search with MapReduce, and the second one is machine learning with PySpark. Okay, so for a programming project, both results and source codes will be checked. So if your code cannot be run due to some bugs, sorry, unfortunately, you will get 0 mark. But me and tutors, we will try our best to prevent that from happening. For example, we will give some test cases. We would specify clearly the test environments. Okay, and we will always be there to help you, but you will also need to make your own efforts. The late penalty, 10% reduction of raw marks for the first day and 30% reduction per day for the following 3 days. And if you submit it on the fifth day, you will get 0 mark, of course. All right, final exam. First of all, we are still waiting for school's detailed instructions about final exam, but below are what we have already known and decided by the CSE. So first of all, it should be an open book exam, an online exam as well, and the deadline is firmed. Okay, means there's no late submission, of course. No supplementary exam will be given, means if you fail the course, you fail the course. Okay, you don't have the second chance to take the final exam again. If you feel illness during the exam period, if you need a special consideration, the application must be submitted prior to the start of the exam. And I will update you once we have more detail or once we have decided more about the final exam. Here I want to talk a little bit more about plagiarism. The policy of how we react to plagiarism. It's a zero tolerance policy. Okay, once you do it, you will get 0 marks. Okay, once you can see the list of misconducts in university's website, here I just want to emphasize you can't copy other students' work, of course, but you should know that if you let other students copy your work, it is also a misconduct. You can't copy from GitHub or other resources from internet. You can't find a ghostwriter. Okay, here I will say a little bit more about ghostwriter, because some of you may think, okay, I pay a ghostwriter to do the project for me. It seems no risk. I mean, the lecturer cannot detect it because the work is not identical to any others. Well, here's an interesting fact that every year our team will receive at least one email from ghostwriters confessing that there is a student who hired him to do the ghostwriting, and all the evidence are solid, so the students will be identified as misconduct, and hence 0 mark for the projects or assignments. So don't trust the ghostwriter and don't try to find one. Please, if you have any questions, you just ask in Piazza or in online consultation, or write me an email, but don't copy others' work. Don't copy from internet. Don't find a ghostwriter. Also, I will not accept the following excuses after I identified you as misconduct and give you 0 mark. Okay, the excuses including like I've left the lab with my screen unlocked, so someone else copied my work, or say someone else stole it from my computer. I mean, in this trimester, everyone is study from home. I mean, how do you share? How could anybody else see your screen, right? And especially here, I've heard this more than once, saying, okay, I only gave my code to A. A didn't use it, but A did give it to B. So that's why B has the same project code as mine. Okay. In this case, you still it is still a misconduct for you because you gave your code to someone else. This is not allowed. Okay, so please don't give your code to anybody else. Well, here is the tentative course schedule. We will have 10 weeks with the 6th week named Flexibility Week. The university asked me to not give any lecture in week 6. So in week 1, we will go through the course introduction and the introduction of big data. In week 2 and 3, we will introduce Hadoop and MapReduce. In week 4, we will introduce Nearest Neighbor Search in high-dimensional big data. And we will release our project 1. Week 5 and week 7 is about Spark, and we will release assignment and project 2, hopefully. Week 8, we will introduce machine learning with PySpark. Week 9 is kind of flexible. It depends on our course process. If we finished all the above topics, then we will introduce data stream and NoSQL, or maybe a little bit about recommendation systems. But if we are behind the schedule, then we will use week 9 to finish all the essential part of this course. Okay, week 10, the last week, would be revision and exam preparation. Okay, we've talked about lectures, assignments, projects, and exam, which left us with labs and consultations. All right. So there are 4 labs in this trimester. The purpose of these labs is to help you with programming and projects. So there's nothing to submit. There's no mark for the labs. Okay, all the labs we will be using IPython notebooks to show you how to do things. To show you with some real cases, and hopefully you can learn from the labs, and hopefully you can get some idea of the projects from the labs. So the contents of the labs, the first one would be on setting the environment. The second one is some fundamental operations in MapReduce and PySpark. The third one is on nearest neighbor search with MapReduce, which is directly related to project 1. And the last one is machine learning with PySpark, which is directly related to project 2. All right. Consultations. So in this trimester, we use the following 3-phase framework of consultation. So when you have questions, you first ask it in the online question answering this platform named Piazza. Okay. Here I do encourage all the students to participate in this discussion. Okay, you can help others, and you can also benefit from others. And the second phase is online consultation with tutors. So every Friday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., we will have a tutor hold online consultation using Zoom. Okay, the room number and the password will be published in Piazza. So you can access the room and ask the questions. Okay, if you want to have a private online consultation with me, please book an appointment with me with a brief description of your questions first. Okay, and also just remember to put COMP9313 in the subject of the email so I don't miss it. So there are some general recommendations from me to help you, hopefully help you go through this 10 weeks. First of all, I really encourage you to make use of lecturer in charge and tutors. Means don't hesitate to ask questions. This is very important. I know some of you may think, okay, this question is really silly question. It's really embarrassing to ask it. But please don't think in this way. Okay, if the question is silly, it is not your problem. It's my problem. Because I didn't explain such easy problem clearly, which brings you some confusion and leads to a so-called silly question. So just ask it. Okay, there is no silly question. Secondly, make use of Piazza, the online discussion platform. By making use of it, I mean you should first read the notices in Piazza. For those really important notices, I will also put them on the course website. Okay, but more importantly, I really hope every one of you could participate in the discussions in Piazza. Or at least go through if you can't answer or others' question or participate in the discussion, at least please go through all the posts in Piazza, especially when you face some difficulties in assignments or projects. Most people just post their questions in Piazza and hope the lecturer in charge or tutors could answer it, but it might cost hours for us to notice there is a question. We'll not always stand by and answering the questions immediately. On the other hand, many questions, especially those regarding to assignments and projects, are duplicate. So if you read all the posts, you probably can already find the answer to your question. If you go through all the posts in Piazza, you probably have already found the answer to your question. So please at least read all the posts. Okay? And the third one is to make use of course materials, which means for the lecture slides, you are expected to understand them. Well, if you are not, ask the questions in Piazza or in the consultation. And also read specifications carefully. This one is for the assignments and projects, especially for the projects. So every time there are students who made mistakes simply because they're not following the specifications carefully. Read the specifications carefully and follow the requirements to avoid those unnecessary loss of your marks. Okay? And the third one is try the labs, although they're not compulsory, because they should be helpful to the projects and also help you to understand the lecture notes, maybe. And please, please, please do not misconduct. Do not copy from others. Do not let others copy from you. Do not copy from resources in internet. Do not hire a ghostwriter. Just try your best and your efforts will be rewarded. Okay? All right. The last thing here, I want to say that your feedbacks are always welcome. So please let me know where I can improve after each lecture. You can do this either through Peerda or by sending me an email. Also, by the end of the trimester, I think you would have the chance to fill the form in my experience system to let me know where I can improve or what's your thinking about this course. So please do it. All right.